As we continue our study of the 5 themes of geography, it is important that we talk about latitude and longitude. Let's first get a definition for latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude are 2 grid points by which you can locate any point on Earth. Latitude and longitude coordinates give you an exact location. For example, if you've ever used anything like Google Maps and you want to find an address or find a location on the globe, you type the address into the Google Maps, and Google Maps uses latitude and longitude coordinates to give you that specific location on Earth. Latitude. Latitude always comes before longitude. We have to remember that. Latitude always comes before longitude. Latitude lines run east to west. You can remember that by saying and remembering the rhyme, lat lays flat. So in class, a lot of times I'm going to have you take your arm and say, lat lays flat. By doing this motion, we're trying to train our brain to remember that latitude lines run east to west. If you look at this circle, we're going to pretend this is the map of the globe. Latitude lines run west to east. So those are lines of latitude. I have drawn a compass rose here for us to see what a compass rose looks like. When you get a map in my class, a lot of times I'm going to ask you to always draw a compass rose. One way to remember these cardinal directions is to say something like, never eat shredded wheat. North, east, south, west. The equator is the most important line of latitude. It divides the globe into the northern and southern hemispheres. So again, we have this circle drawn that's supposed to represent the globe. The equator cuts our globe in half, dividing it into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. If you had a latitude coordinate that read 0 degrees, that means that the coordinate lies on the equator. To find latitude coordinates, you must first find the equator. One thing that's very important is that you remember that latitude coordinates run east to west, remember, lat lays flat, but they measure north to south of the equator. For example, if you see a coordinate that says the location is 30 degrees south, that means that the location of that latitude coordinate is 30 degrees below the equator. So if this was our equator, that means the location is 30 degrees below the equator. If you see a coordinate that says the location is 30 degrees north, that means that the location of the coordinate is 30 degrees above the equator. So now let's talk about longitude. Longitude lines run north to south. So if this was our globe, they run like this, north to south. They are long. So we have latitude that run east to west, but longitude lines run north to south. The prime meridian is the most important line of longitude. It divides the world into the eastern and western hemispheres. So if we look at this picture down here of this circle, this is that most important line of longitude, the prime meridian. It divides the globe into the eastern and western hemispheres. Just like the equator, registering at 0 degrees latitude, if you have a degree that says 0 degrees longitude, that means that coordinate falls on prime meridian. Longitude lines are called meridians. The Earth is divided into 360 meridians. There are 180 equal parts west of the prime meridian and 180 equal parts east of the prime meridian. To find a longitude coordinate, you must first find the prime meridian. Remember that longitude lines run north to south, but they measure east to west of the prime meridian. So for example, if you see a coordinate that says the location is 30 degrees east, that means that the location of that coordinate is 30 degrees to the right of the prime meridian. If you see a coordinate that says the location is 30 degrees west, that means that the location of the coordinate is 30 degrees to the left of the prime meridian. So how do you find latitude and longitude coordinates? Remember the first thing, latitude always comes before longitude. So if you were looking at coordinates, latitude's always going to be your first coordinate, longitude's always going to be your second coordinate. So if we saw this coordinate, 35 degrees north, comma, 40 degrees west, we need to figure out how you would find that on a map. Well, this coordinate means that it is 35, or this location of the coordinate is 35 degrees north or above the equator and 40 degrees west or to the left of the prime meridian. So let's look at another example. 60 degrees south, 20 degrees east. This coordinate is located 60 degrees south or below the equator and 20 degrees east or to the right of the prime meridian.